Deep two, yes. Dropped it for the corner.
Pull up, three. Good.
Step back, throw. That's a good shot for three.
Stepping through off the window, good. Stepping through the raindrops and the finish on the right hand.
And everything's going the Boomers' way with back-to-back threes. The Boomers, a WNBL chance.
Round 11 of the Cygnett WNBL tips off for the Wednesday night clash in the Harbour City. The Sydney Flames starting the season 0-5. They look destined for life in the bottom two, but this young team have rallied to go 4-4 since. They've breathed life into their season, but they must win and keep winning to stay in the hunt. Tonight they face arguably the most dangerous team in the league, the Southside Flyers, who have won 5 of their last 6, including decisive victories over fellow contenders Melbourne and Bendigo. Will they bring their best tonight, or can the Flames continue their mid-season revival? It's round 11 WNBL action. It's the Flames and the Flyers at the Quaycentre in Sydney. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Wednesday Night Hoops on your home of hoops here, ESPN. It's our ESPN WNBL Game of the Week. Jason Bennett alongside the 12-time champion, Carrie Graf. And Graffy, well, the big story out of Sydney today. No Shane Heal, no Shyla Heal.
Yeah, huge. But teams in this situation, they got nothing to lose. This young Sydney Flames team, coached by great Shelley Gorman, they got nothing to lose. We know they play hard. It's going to be an interesting one.
Early afternoon today, the Flames put out these 2 statements. Shane Heal unavailable to coach in tonight's matchup against the Flyers. Shelley Gorman to take the reins as interim coach. And then shortly after, Shyla Heal will not be in the lineup for the Flames against the Southside Flyers tonight at Quaycentre, out of the side due to personal reasons. So the Flames will go in without their head coach and without their gun point guard. Let's head courtside for more on this as we welcome in Megan Huswaite. Megs, good evening, welcome.
Good evening, guys. It's certainly the WNBL news that sent shockwaves around the competition nationally today. I caught up with Shelley Gorman a short time ago. She's really looking forward to the opportunity tonight. She learned yesterday that she would be taking the reins as head coach and said she's had a bit more time to prepare than last time she did, which was against Bendigo earlier in the season, when she took the reins from Shane Hill, who was ejected from the game against the Spirit. She had 2 and a bit quarters to lead the team there, but she said she's really going to lean on the playing group, her assistant coaches and support staff. It will be a team effort for the Flames tonight, who of course have some changes to their starting 5. Tiana Magakahi into the 1 spot. Jocelyn Willoughby moves into the 2, with Kira Rowe getting a start in the 3 position.
And Megs, from a Southside Flyers perspective, no Abby Bishop.
No, Abby Bishop is in health and safety protocols, so wishing her all the best. And as we learnt yesterday, the GOAT Lauren Jackson has been playing with a fractured foot. Only the GOAT could do that and keep playing on.
Yeah, what a marvel she is. Well, Shelley Gorman, Carrie, you know extremely well. 321 games of WNBL over 15 years, 5 championships. She was the 1994 MVP, 3-time Olympian. You coached her, you played with her.
Well, I sat on the bench with her and watched her be great. But yeah, look, she's one of Basketball Australia's great female athletes. Unbelievable shooter, great basketball IQ, unbelievable work ethic as an athlete, and she's got great people skills. She'll be nervous tonight. There's no question. You know, she'll be nervous, but she's been with Shane coaching this team. She knows their system. She knows the game. She knows the athletes. She'll stick to the game plan that they had coming in.
4-9 last year, 13 last year rather, 4-9 already this year, so they're definitely on the improve. What do they need to do tonight? Yeah,
look, I think for them it's about the possession game. Firstly, can they limit turnovers and then get on the boards? They need to stop the running game of the Southside Flyers, who love to get out and run. So their defensive transition is absolutely critical. Can they slow the ball down? Can they make Southside Flyers play a half-court game? And then can they play for 40 minutes? But having said that, play for 40 minutes, you're without your star athlete, you're without your head coach. That maybe shifts a little bit, and just go out there and have fun.
Flyers spectacular against the Spirit and the Boomers. They dropped their last start to Perth, though. Cheryl Chambers suggesting they might have been just a little bit flat. How do they return to the winners list tonight?
Look, I think for them it's all about defence, and particularly how disruptive they can be in the ball screen action against the Sydney Flames, particularly with heel out. Can they disrupt Willoughby? Can they disrupt Manga Kahir in that ball screen action? And offensively, getting the ball through sets of hands and then going to their inside game, get it into the GOAT, get it into LJ, use their penetration and get the ball on the floor.
Important 2-game road trip for the Flyers this week. They head to Canberra for part 2 on Saturday. Particularly important given the Boomers and the Spirit, so first and third, they'll play each other on Sunday. So Southside, the opportunity this week to either make up some ground on Melbourne or kick clear of Bendigo and really solidify that second spot. As we get set for Wednesday night action, can the Flames make a big statement without their coach and their gun point guard? Will the Flyers return to the winners list? Wednesday night WNBL, our ESPN Game of the Week coming to you from the Quayside in Sydney. Healthy crowd in. Important game for both these teams. Flames fighting for survival. Flyers wanting to keep the pressure on the Boomers in the hunt for the minor premiership. It'll be Jackson, fractured foot and all, to begin. She'll go against Shervin.
Big game for Shervin, matched up on the goat. She's got to be a little bit nervous.
Cole looks immediately to get it inside to Jackson. Can't control it.
Yeah, smart, early offence for the Flyers. They've got to go in and test that matchup. Can Shervin defend LJ down low on the block? We know LJ, as you say, broken foot, but she can still shoot that turnaround, Jay, that she's renowned for.
She drew an early foul. Great start for Thornton. Taylor Thornton having a fantastic first season. Musis, Mangakia have plenty of work to do tonight in the absence of Heel, so will Kira Rowe. Changes up their minutes slightly. Mangakia here rather, that shot missing.
Good defence by Rochi there. Great matchup to watch tonight, but between those two guards, between Rochi and Mangakia, that'll be a great one.
Thornton, blitz ups. Again, they're going to look to go over the top to Jackson. You can see the game plan straight off the top from the Flyers. Get it inside to LJ as often as possible. Wide open for Mangakia. Doesn't take the shot. Tried the behind the back pass. Turns it over. Thornton. Cole sets her feet. Good start for Beck. Good start for the Flyers.
They love to get out and run, take that early shot in transition. If they're open, Cole can get on the rim or take that three.
Rowe matched against Cole on this occasion. Went to go to Froling. Pass misses its mark, and Thornton can take it down the other end, and this is a sizzling start from Southside.
Excellent early timeout called by interim head coach Shelley Gorman. Kill the momentum.
Taylor Thornton getting better and better as the season goes on. The 30-year-old from El Paso, Texas, averaging 28 minutes a game, 16.6 rebounds, 3 assists. Let's have a listen in to Cheryl Chambers, who's side with a flying start.
So you two there, you're on the next line, you're on the baseline. When everyone calls one, we're just straight back into it. Yeah, just bring it back here a little bit, okay? Offensively, keep looking to push. In transition, we can run trans peak if you want, okay? Remember that? You guys are okay with that? Yep. Good job, keep going inside, keep going inside. Southside play.
Let's head courtside. Meggs is in the Sydney huddle.
And Graffy was completely right. It was a momentum-killing timeout for Shelley Gorman, and the message was repeated several times. We need to calm down, guys. She also wants to see the Flames start to attack the Southside bigs who are starting to get into this game in the early stages.
Certainly see the ball going inside to Lauren Jackson at every opportunity, and Cheryl Chambers just reinforcing that point at the timeout.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see some bluff extended defence, I think, here. They'll just show like they might be trapping or half-court trapping and then just pull it back. But absolutely, they'll go in, see what if they can draw some help into LJ and then spit it back on the outside.
It's important for the Flames to just settle into the game here. It's been a bit of a mixed-up last 24 hours for them.
Tumultuous, you would imagine, if you're on the inside. No head coach, the star player then they're not in, and they've just got to rally together and try and play hard.
So they look to control possession for a little bit here, Graffy, to slow their offensive sets down, use the shot clock, keep the ball in hand. Yeah,
interestingly, they're a team too that, speaking of Shelley Gorman earlier this afternoon, that they still wanted to run, but you don't want to get in a running contest with Southside Flyers. I'm going to say they're one of the best offensive transition teams in the league. Grind it out, see if you can sucker a foul or two, get in some ball screen action and get in a situation where you can attack their bigs. Can they go at LJ? We might see some ball screen action come up here where you put LJ in the ball screen and see if the guard can come off that screen and really attack her.
Willoughby, Mangakia back to Jocelyn. That's what they needed.
Or you just shoot a three.
It's a simple game at times, isn't it?
Shoot the ball, you open, shoot.
Critical bucket there for Sydney, gets them on the board. Can they just settle into the contest here after the Flyers got away to an absolute flyer? Rochi, Jackson. Gives the crowd an early thrill.
I can do anything you can do, says the GOAT. You shoot a three, I'll shoot a three. Thank you very much.
Arching back to 8. Willoughby. Rowe. Now, Munga Kahia.
Shervin hits the deck hard.
Slow to get up. Willoughby, we should go herself, runs into some traffic, has to dish it off. Munga Kahia can just keep it alive. She's going to have to put up a prayer. And away comes Beck Cole. Offensive foul, the lean in on the screen from Kayla Thornton.
Interesting now. Let's see it on the replay here. LJ drops that three. Beautiful. Interesting to see now. Do you go straight back and try and attack Thornton, get her involved in the ball screen, see if you can pick up a second cheap foul on her? We may see that come in.
Here with carrying duties in the absence of Shyla Heal. Shervin, Willoughby.
Big load on Willoughby's shoulders today.
Feeds it through to Shervin. Good ball movement there from the Flames.
Excellent by Willoughby. Look, she's a legit star. Gives up, uses the hesitation, drops that little pass into Shervin. Excellent finish by the young post. Bit of offensive patience, as you mentioned, Jace. Just work the ball around, see if you can find a chink in their armour, see if you can draw a foul. And in this situation, get yourself a three-point play.
24-year-old from Minnesota. Now with the Minnesota Lynx in the WNBA. Margin back to 5, and the Flames have settled.
Big defensive stop opportunity here for the Sydney Flames. Can they lock up the Flyers?
Jackson goes herself. Why wouldn't you? Had it on a string there, went to give it off, reeled it back in and said, you know what, I'll shoot it.
And this is where, you know, an adjustment for a young player like Shervin. She's got to get up and in on LJ, not let her shoot the three and dare her to put the ball on the floor.
Rowe for the response. Off the iron. Munga Kahia there for the offensive board. All important tonight. Focus from Cheryl Chambers, she says during the week. Defense and rebounding. Froling from range. Jackson tidies it up off to Rochi. Inside, Thornton, will she work on Froling? Backs her up. Pops it over the top. Not sure if that was the intention. It might work out, but Subs can't finish. Rochi, called for the travel. Got
out of jail on that one. I think the Sydney Flames, you know, nice defence for Froling not to foul. Thornton may have thought she got tapped on the arm. Almost, they come up with offensive possession, but thankfully for the Sydney Flames, Rochi was called for a travel. Let's see Sydney now organise, run some half-court offence.
Tiana Munga Kahia in game number 50. Shervin, Willoughby. Wow, great response here from Sydney.
Fantastic. I mean, she's legit. She can shoot the three. She's got the pull-up jump shot. She's got handles. She's got hesitation. She's got so many tools in her offensive kit.
Inside to Jackson. Gets her own board. Can she finish? Of course she can. Great start for Lauren Jackson, up to 7 points.
LJ's loving being back in Sydney. I think the last time she played in Sydney, it might have been that Rose Gold World Championship match.
She last played at Quaycentre. This venue, 2009-2010 semi-final series when the Caps went on to win the title. Abby Bishop also played in that series.
I think that might have been out at Penrith. But yes, it was in Sydney.
Beautiful work from Shervin.
LJ was of the belief that she just had those long wings of hers up. Referee said, yep, but they had made contact to young Shervin's arm and she'll go to the free throw line.
As you mentioned, a great opportunity and a great thrill for a player like Hannah Shervin, 24 years of age, to get the chance to play against the likes of a Lauren Jackson. For once in your life, at least, you can walk away and say, I played against one of the greats.
Yep. And then you take a few clips and say, here's what I can do. Give that to your agent to ship around, shop around.
Margin back to 5.
Look, and she hasn't taken a backward step.
She makes them both. And the early damage, the 8-zip run that Southside opened up with, has been largely negated. They've certainly taken the air out of the balloon and got themselves into the game here, Sydney.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what momentum and playing 40 minutes is all about. Coach helped out there by calling the momentum timeout. Now the team have regathered themselves. They've got some good offensive looks, found some finishes, locked up defensively a couple of times.
Cole to Jackson. Oh, this is some sort of start from Lauren.
They're going to run her off the three-point line. Ball screen action, you'd think they might go to switching so there's no confusion. Get in her space, make her put the ball on the floor.
Froling against Thornton. Puts it on the floor.
Thornton got her hands in down low. This is going to be a great matchup to watch all night. Keely Froling with the headband there, covering up some stitches she received last week in a big clash.
Megs has got more on that, Megs.
That's right. It's not unusual for a Froling to be wrapped in bandages, and Keely put an Instagram post up during the week with a bit of a highlights reel of her head being bandaged over the years in the WNBL. 6 stitches to that eyebrow after a clash with Jacinta Munro in their loss to Adelaide last week.
Yeah, it was a nasty one.
Didn't impact her free throw shooting.
Marchant sits at 5 midway through this opening term at the Quayside Centre in Sydney. Southside out to an 8-zip run to start this game. Since then, the Flames steadily working their way back. Here's Rochi. Cole, Jackson. He's had a hot start, already up to 10 points. Back to Maddie Rochi.
Rolling now, matched up on LJ.
Good pressure there from Munga Kahia. Cole thinks about popping it over the top to Blitzard, who now sets the screen. Cole to Potch. Goes baseline. Goes herself. Can't finish. The defensive set there from Sydney. We now look to run the floor through Willoughby. Does she take them on? Hesitates. Kicks out. Munga Kahia from deep. Not quite. Rochi can scurry down the other end. It's not clear. Well done, Emma Clark. Here's Munga Kahia. Options left and right. Uncertain of them in the end. She had so many to choose from. Just goes herself.
Hey, do a 360 pivot. You find yourself an open shot. But look, good play. She had to take that deep three. She felt she was wide open. They come up with a possession, push tempo, and they get a nice little fast break bucket.
Rochi Munga Kahia battle starting to warm up. It's going to be fun. Here's Froling versus Jackson. Something that's less fun is guarding LJ.
Especially when you're giving up about 3 or 4 inches and she goes to that, you know, I mean, how do you defend that turnaround jump shot of hers?
Jackson up to 12. Willoughby shot, a little heavy. Line off to Rochi. Swings it wide. Potch just cuts to the hoop.
Tough finish.
What a
Uses her
talent.
length. She's a talent. She's been impressive this season.
The 18-year-old. So much to look forward to. Munga Kahia responds.
That's one of the things that you love about perimeter shooters is you miss a couple. If you're open, you've got to keep taking them. That's what the grey shooters do. Munga Kahia said, hey, look, I've got to step up for my team too. There's more scoring load, you know, with Shyla Hill out. She's got to take those open threes. Great confidence.
Rochi and Munga Kahia. Great screen there from Blitzarves. Rochi goes thundering through into Kira Rowe.
Smart play. You know, Rochi's got talent. Put the ball on the floor, crossover. She can make you move your feet. Suckers a foul there. You know, with Sydney, less players. Can you get a few in foul trouble? You've got to force them to use their bench. Less depth.
Maddie Rochi always combative. Always plays full throttle.
Yeah, great little matchup between she and Munga Kahia. Both in the Opals squad.
Averaging 14 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists a game this season. Really warming into her work the longer the season goes on. 21 and 20 points her last 2 starts, including 7 from 11 from three-point range, Maddie Rochi. So really getting her game going.
She's got a great stroke. We see here Southside Flies dropping back into a 2-3 zone. Let's see how Sydney manage that.
Munga Kahia swings it wide. Panousis inside. Froling works on Ernst. Can't complete the shot. Blitzarves comes away. Here is Rochi. Stops, props, and drains another 2.
Feeling it. Got her eye in on those free throws. That's danger with his Southside Flies team.
Munga Kahia is feeling it at the other end. And it is a shootout right now in Sydney. Rochi steps through the pressure from Munga Kahia. Off to Ernst. Conti into the game. Speaking of pressure and intensity, Mon brings both of those. Ernst against Froling. Feeds it through. Blitzarves.
3-second call. Clearly, Southside Flyers really intent on going inside, using their size advantage where they can. It goes into Ernst. Blitzarves has already made a dive to the basket. Camped too long in there. She could have set up a tent and roasted a marshmallow the amount of time she was in there.
Willoughby, nice crossover move, gets Blitzarves out of her groove. Froling, Willoughby, Panousis.
Wow! They are on fire. Intended pun.
Margin back to 2. Inside the final 2 minutes of this high-scoring opening term. 50 points already on the board between these two teams. Rochi, Potch against Willoughby. There's some athleticism in that pairing. Conti goes for a long-range 3. Mon's hitting them as well.
You have to be kidding me. This is phenomenal three-point shooting.
The Flyers are 5 for 5 from the arc. Sydney are 4 for 8. It has been raining threes at the Quaycentre.
And deep threes. She's in the car park.
Boom.
That was a torp from the 50-metre line.
Hit it sweetly, didn't she? Monconti, 27% free throw shooter in her career. Much better this season, though. She's now 10 for 22, almost at 50%. So it's one aspect of her game she's really improved, and it adds an extra weapon to her game, which she needs. And here's Willoughby at the free throw line.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you're playing a team with the size of the Southside Flyers and with the GOAT, she's going to draw attention. She's going to draw a double team. She's going to force you to spread the floor. You're going to get wide open threes when you're playing a team with size like that and with a big like LJ.
Let's go courtside to Megs.
Subbing in for the Southside Flyers. She's a great example of what life is like for our professional women's athletes. She's spent the day working in the hotel in another room because she's doing her full-time job. Got back in time, ready to catch the team bus to the game tonight.
Multitasking. Thanks, Megs. It really is a great insight into what life in the WNBL can be like. And you think back to the hub and the amount of players that were working full-time while they were also training and playing in that hub situation. It's just the reality of life right now as a female athlete in the WNBL.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, there's a large cohort of athletes that they're full-time basketballs. You know, we can't neglect that. But, you know, for a lot of athletes, it's a 6-month part-time job. Yep.
Munga here against Conti. Draws a foul there. You certainly know now, if you're a guard coming up against the Southside Flyers, you're in for 40 minutes of high pressure and intensity because you've got Maddie Rochi, and when she sits down, Mon Conti steps into that slot. Yeah,
and you've got Beck Cole that can guard the guards too. So you've got 3 dogged, relentless, great defenders that there is no reprieve. You get no chance to catch your breath. And particularly, you know, this evening for the Sydney Flames, Manka Kahia has normally got some, you know, she and Shiloh can share that load a little. Different tonight, but doesn't look like it for Manka Kahia. She's on fire. She's shooting the 3. She's shooting with confidence.
This for her double figures in the opening term. She's got it as well. So Jackson's got 12. Manka Kahia's got 10. And we've got a minute to play in the opening term. Entertaining game from the Quayside Centre. ESPN's WNBL Game of the Week. Off to a sizzling start. Conti feeds it through. Kicked back out. Ernst can't make the 3.
Big possession for the Sydney Flames to come up with that stop.
Lucis has it. Fronted by Conti. Off to Tiana. She said feeling it in this opening term. Already with 10 on the board. Feeds it through to Froling. Good pressure, Pinot.
Flames felt they got a foul there. They attacked the switch on the ball screen action. Keely Froling didn't get any favours from the referees.
3-second differential between shot and game clock. Conti versus Panousis. Will she pull the trigger on a 3? She'll go to Pinot. Potch is wide open. Everything dropping in this opening quarter.
There isn't anyone out there without a hot hand. Big turnover.
With 4 seconds left. Munga Kahia hits the floor. Turnover. Southside will get one more look here.
Yeah, just slow to rotate the Sydney Flames. Maybe a lack of communication. Munga Kahia disappointed with herself with that turnover, but boy, she's had a great first quarter.
There's been a scoring frenzy in Sydney. Final shot. Does Conti take it? Feeds it inside. And a foul with a split second left on the clock. A coach killer carry.
Oh, Emma Clark's called for the foul. Sends Maddie Rochi to the free throw line. We know Rochi's a great free throw shooter. Let's have a look at it on the replay. Oh, you know, I mean, if you're out there playing or coaching, you're saying, hey, what just happened down the other end to Keely Froling? Arms straight up, you know, 0.2 of a second. Tough one, but, you know, easier sitting here in a commentary box than down there refereeing.
And he got you the line to shoot to, shooting 78% from the stripe this season, which is also her career average. Just getting the clock situation sorted out. What an opening term in Sydney.
Wow. The perimeter shooting, the three-point shooting has been absolutely sensational. Not just one or two plays. We saw LJ loaded up early. Manka Kahir came to the party. Willoughby to the party. Poch! The list goes on.
Referees just confirming, is there any time remaining? And there's Keely Froling just talking about that foul, presumably at the other end, Carrie.
She might need stitches on her arm, she's saying to the referee. Look, I've got 6 here. I need a wristband and an elbow band.
I think the referees might just be conferring around whether or not there's any time left on the clock post these free throws, but certainly it was a last split-second foul as the clock was expiring.
Yeah, I'm saying 0.2 or so. It was way down. So
catch and shoot at best.
Yeah, absolutely.
Might even just be tip-in situation. So a little bit of time here. Just extends the quarter-time break. Players will get to catch their breath. And after that opening term, which was played at a frenzied pace, they need to.
Yeah, and after that, you know, I wouldn't say slow start from the Sydney Flames, the hot start from the Southside Flyers. Maybe a little nerves and uncertainty with the Sydney Flames, without their head coach Shane Hill, without their star point guard Shyla Hill, but they've settled into this game.
Bocci misses the first. And makes the second. That will be all for quarter time. It was fast, it was furious, it was fun. Flames and Flyers. Southside 33, Sydney 27, quarter time, ESPN's WNBL Game of the Week.
Carry a hand to Tiana. Anytime they're in, don't have your hands in. Let's have smelly armpits so they can't call any fouls. I want to go 2 out first play. Okay, so normal 2 out, see if we can get the high low. If not, we can go the other side here. Okay? And let's tag up. Make sure every single person tags up. We're going to keep them under 17 this quarter. Okay, we're going to defend. Here we go. Southside. You got 2 as well. Yeah, I got 2. Just got you and halftime feature.
Didn't get the CTM read away either because I don't think there was any timeouts on that very first one.
No.
Was there? It's not just Cody. You're not just Cody. You're Cody. Don't play yourself down. You're not just Cody. Action-packed opening term. Quaycentre in Sydney, 60 combined points, 33-27 in favour of Southside as we head courtside to Megs.
I was in Shelley Gorman's quarter-time address. She said to our players, guys, we've got to stick to the scout. We can't continue to have these lapses defensively, which we did in the first quarter. Vanessa Panusis into the game in place of Kira Rowe to start this second term.
Thanks to Megan Huswaite. Well, you never know what you're going to get when you tune in on Wednesday nights for WNBL, Carrie. No one would have predicted 60 points in the opening term. What did you make of it?
exciting basketball. I mean, shot the lights out, both teams. Up-tempo, physical without being overtly physical, matchups galore. The GOAT started off with some great big three bombs, but this is a contest, and as you say, you never know what you're going to get because the talent and the depth in the WNBL is phenomenal, regardless of win-loss columns for teams, regardless of whether you've got your head coach coaching or not. This is what you get. Great stuff.
Lauren Jackson, 5 for 6 in the opening term for 12 points. Tiana Kahia, 3 for 6 for 10 points. Led the way for both those teams, but there were plenty that came along for the ride. 5 points for Thornton, 5 for Rochi, 5 for Potch. From a Sydney perspective, 7 to Jocelyn Willoughby, who started well, 5 to Hannah Shervin. So both teams sharing the load around. Plenty of points to share.
Yeah.
60, combined 60 in the opening quarter.
And that's the strength of this Southside Flyers team. You know, that scoring spread, and that's without Abby Bishop, without Amy Rochi, without. You know, they've got injuries galore, but they're the deepest team in the league, and they can manage it. For Sydney, you know, we talk about Willoughby's got to take up the load. Manga Kahia does, and they both did. And as you say, Shervin started well. You know, offensively, she attacked, she went inside. She would have been nervous as all get up, having to defend the GOAT in Lauren Jackson, but you know, she didn't back down. A little adjustment on, you know, if someone's a three-point shooter, we heard Meg say out of Shelley Gorman's quarter time to adjust to the scout. One of those would be, don't let LJ have an open three. Get up in her space, dare her to put it on the floor. As great as she is, she's 41 years old. She's not going to blow by you on a drive.
Another clock delay. Officials just get everything sorted out early in this second term. Both coaches, I'm sure, now wanting to put the defensive clamps on in the second quarter.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, they'll have a target. Can we keep a team, you know, under 17, under 19, under 20, but definitely under 20? That, you know, having said that, it wasn't terrible defense that allowed the score. Sometimes, you know, it's a little interesting. What's the issue here? It's not defense. It's just great offense.
Yeah. Sometimes they just shoot it over you. They shoot it over you. That's so be it. Let's courtside. Here's Megs.
It was a super hot day in Melbourne yesterday, guys. It is really hot in Sydney here today. That may be why the scoreboard and the time clock here has had a bit of a meltdown. The stat bench is trying to get things under control from a technical point of view. It could be the amazing three-point shooting, Jace. I think that's probably more likely. But a combination of raining threes, hot weather, it's all happening here at the Quaycentre.
We've blown the scoreboard up in the opening term. So another delay here for the players. Really important weekend, as we said, for the Flyers. They're on a 2-game road trip. Sydney followed by Canberra. Opportunity to close the gap on Melbourne potentially, should they fall to Bendigo, or conversely kick away from the Spirit should Melbourne win on Sunday. What a critical game that's going to be. Yeah,
absolutely, Jason. You know, look, Southside would go in, not that you take any games lightly, but you would mark on your calendar at this point in the season. They're 2 should wins against, you know, with all due respect to Sydney and Canberra, you know, they're lower down on the table. They've struggled for wins. They're undermanned. You know, they're 2 you should get, but they're the danger games. They're the ones you drop your guard a little bit, anything can happen. So they're the must-win ones in terms of you should win, you must win, and the focus has to be that.
We saw that with Canberra last week. 0-12 came out, pulled off a fantastic upset win against the odds. Sydney, well, they've been there and thereabouts, and you have a look at their record this year, and most of the teams they've beaten have been at the bottom end of the ladder, but they've been competitive at times, and Carrie, you know as well as anyone, when you're a young emerging team, it's just bridging that gap between being in games and being able to win games.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's the difference, you know, and there's only so long you can talk about that. Like, you know, you can't after 2 or 3 or 4 years go, oh yeah, but we only lost this amount of game by that margin. Did you win or did you lose? Ultimately, it comes down to that. So there's a growth period, but then Tom Maher, Australia's greatest coach, Tom Maher, a great phrase that he coined was find ways to win. Doesn't matter how you do it, you have to find a way to win. This is high-performance sport.
It's the Flames, as Willoughby loses the handle, but will retain possession as it's knocked away. Southside starting with an 8-0 run to open the game. Since then, the Flames have outscored them by 2. It's a 6-point margin as we start the second term. Panousis. Froling matched up with Thornton. Puts it on the floor. And draws a foul.
Smart, patient, low post play there by Keely Froling. Just backed her man in. Nice little cat and mouse tussle between those two. This is a great matchup. We see Thornton reaching. Definitely gets her hand in. Keely Froling smart, just daring her. You're coming at me, I'll sucker one. It's a smart play.
Turns 27 on the 31st of this month. Keely Froling. And game number 140 tonight.
She's had a great couple of seasons, you know, really taken up scoring load, captaining this young Sydney Flames team. She can play both ends of the floor. She plays above her size. You know, she's tough. The headband tells us that. The black eye tells us that.
Co-MVP with Shyla Heal for this team last season, and her numbers this year, Keely, even better. Margin now sits at 5. Maddie Rocci against Panousis. Cole, very much facilitator this season. Poch, Blitzarves. Jackson puts it on the floor. Oh, yes.
I mean, how do you stop that? We say, look, Shervin's followed the scout. Coach Shelley Gorman said, follow the scout. Don't jam up on her. Don't let her get a 3. She backs you down with 2 dribbles and nails it on your head. I mean, that's just class. That's the GOAT at her best.
Will it be called for the travel? And it's very much that point you made a couple of minutes ago about you can defend as well as you can defend. Sometimes the offense is just better.
That's really good defense. And that is just a world-class, world champion, legend shot.
7-point lead for Southside. Rocci busy as always. Lovely finish. Banks it off the window.
Yeah, there's so many weapons on this Southside Fly team in terms of scoring and the ways they can score. Rocci can shoot the 3. She can put the ball on the deck and finish. You know, Ernst can stretch it and shoot the 3s. We see her now defending the ball screen action, and Keely Froling steps up and says, all right, my team needs one.
Lovely little bounce pass there from Panousis to Froling. Cole. Here is Ernst. Beck. You come up with the most unusual, unorthodox footwork to throw your opponent off, and that was a perfect example.
That's what happens when your dad was an Aussie soccer player, Gary Cole. You know, that she's, unorthodox. Cole doesn't look pretty as a player, but boy, she's effective. She's rugged, she's tough, and she finds ways to score, finds ways to win.
Bounced off to Rocci. Flies back out by 9. Jackson. Back to Maddie. Steps through traffic, feeds it back to Ernst. Good close down defence from Panousis, but not much you can do about that.
That's size, talent, and there isn't. When you're undersized, throwing a lob pass to one of the greatest catchers in the game, LJ can catch anything. I mean, that's just hard to defend. You've got more pressure on the passer, perhaps, but other than that, LJ's just...
LJ.
She's
just LJ.
She's just LJ.
She's got 16 points.
LJ. I mean, who would think? You look at her playing, when you see her make those moves, she doesn't look 41.
And a great event coming up. The Flyers and the Flames at John Cain Arena, which seats 9,000 people. Ticket sales have already been really healthy, so jump online at Ticketek. Saturday, February 4. It's going to be a night to remember.
I believe they've already sold 5,000.
Wow.
That was as of yesterday.
It'll be quite the occasion. Panousis. Willoughby rattles it around and drops it in.
Big, she's got to keep him in the game. Willoughby, a couple of big defensive possessions here for the Sydney Flames. Can they lock up a stop? Keep this margin close.
Poch, Jackson, air ball.
Uncharacteristic. But again, charged her, tried to run her off the 3-point line, maybe made her rush a little bit. Made some good tweaks in their defence, the Sydney Flames.
They trail by 8. Just under 7.5 remaining in the opening half. Panousis off to Munga Kahia. 10 points in the opening term. Back to Panousis. Looking for some help. Broke her own ankles there. Froling. Gonna have to put it up herself. Takes it to the rack. Good poise, Keely Froling.
Tough finish, smart play. I've got to put the ball on the floor here against Ernst. Fended off with one arm, made a nice little scoop shot finish. That's a captain leading the way in Keely Froling.
Pass went behind Poch, but Nadio athletic enough to haul it back in. Conti. Back to Poch, it's knocked away. Well done, Willoughby. Can close the margin to 4. And once again, the Sydney Flames hang in. Flyers look to be headed for a double-digit lead. Sydney respond.
Yeah, look, great, big defensive plays you've got to come up with them. Willoughby gets a steal, creates momentum. At home, the crowd get on your back, forces the opposition coach to call a timeout.
And this timeout brought to you by CTM Sport. If you're considering travelling interstate with your sporting team, consider CTM Sport for your customised travel needs at ctmsport.com.au. Here's the great Shelley Gorman.
It's about us. Everyone must be engaged. That great deflection, great steal, great shot. But that was created for you, right? Let's keep doing that, guys. Let's stay engaged. Hey, there's a little bit too much dribbling in offense. We need to get into it. We need to move the ball, okay? Let's just keep going at their pins.
Yeah. Hey, when we call the goals early, it's really good. Yeah. When we don't have that communication, that's when it messes up. But that's really good when we do that.
Litzabs and Jackson are both on 2, Jordan's on 3.
Actually, I want to run a 34 for you. I want to run a 34. Is everyone remember it? Yeah. So we come and curl around. Keely's going to pop. Keely's going to pop. Okay? Boys. Okay. Go.
Great passion, energy, belief, and they're keeping a close eye on the foul count. Kayla Thornton has 3, Litzabs and Jackson on 2 apiece.
Yeah, we saw Coach Shelley Gorman there urging a play, saying, we're doing this well, stick at that, and now we're go-to. We're going to Keely Froling. She's got the hot hand, plus she's going to have one of those posts that's in foul trouble. Can we suck her another foul?
Meanwhile, Meggs was in the Flyers huddle.
It's worth remembering that Flyers captain Amy Rocci is out injured at the moment. Beck Cole is the standing captain, but it was Maddie Rocci who brought the players together, urging her teammates to stay together here as Sydney make a run. Cheryl encouraged her players to keep things as clean as they can, and LJ told the guards how she wants to be fed, and fair enough too. She's on 16 points.
Feed the goat. And that's what they do right here. Cole to Jackson. Good defensive work there from Froling. Did just enough to pressure her out of the shot.
Absolutely. Bodied her up, kept her hands out.
Munga Kahia. The belief growing in this Sydney team right now. Lovely feed inside. Willoughby will kick it back out to Rode. Big bucket.
The threes keep raining in Sydney.
1 point game.
And we've got to remember, Sydney are at home. They haven't been at home a lot this season. This crowd will get on their back. 2,000 strong crowd here. Bit of an LJ factor, I'm sure, in drawing the crowd, but the crowd this is a Sydney crowd. They're going to bring this team home.
Jackson receives from Conti, off to Potch. Shot clock down to 6. Jackson will put it on the floor. She'll turn, draw a foul.
And we see there the Sydney Flames going there, switching defence on ball screen, so Willoughby ended up on Jackson, bodied her up. So we see Froling there, guarding the guard. Willoughby trying her best with LJ down low. Bit of help coming in from Froling. Big ask, but I think that switching is what they've got to go with. It's been effective for them. It's disruptive.
Gee, it's been fun watching Lauren Jackson, hasn't it? Make her return at the World Cup and then playing in the WNBL. And no, we don't want to make it all about LJ, and she doesn't want to make it all about herself. But just as a basketball fan, just as a sports fan, so much fun to see such a great player back and doing herself justice.
And like, as you say, doing justice to that she plays like she was 32. Hasn't got the quicks that she had when she was younger, but all her offensive moves are still there. She's, as you say, Jace, an absolute pleasure to watch.
Rolling, beautiful pass. Willoughby had to try and keep it alive. Interestingly enough, the furthest ref away from the action called that.
Yeah, maybe when they get together and have their referee review, they might say that's not your call, but they'll also say if it's an obvious call, make the call.
So it's a 2-point game. 5.5 to play in the second term at the Quaycentre in Sydney. As you can see, a healthy crowd in on a Wednesday evening. Great to have you with us on ESPN's Game of the Week.
Extended man defence here by the Flames. See if they can chew some time off that shot clock.
Mooses versus Rocci. Here's Cole against Willoughby. Looking for an option. She wants Jackson inside. Why not? Froling gets the hands up, but Jackson finishes.
When Jackson catches the ball deep, she's almost unstoppable. We saw there Willoughby really trying to apply ball pressure to prevent the ball going with LJ. That's probably your best thing. Can you stop the ball going into LJ?
Maddie Rocci.
Easier said than done.
Not sure there's ever been a game in Maddie's entire career where she hasn't hit the floor hard. That's the way she plays. We mentioned earlier, she plays at full throttle.
She does, and she's robust. She's strong, she's quick.
Oof, that was solid contact from Willoughby.
You talk about strong and quick and robust. Willoughby is that all over. I mean, what a beautiful athlete is she. As we talked about before, and in talking to the coaches, both with Shane Hill, who's not coaching tonight, and Shelley Gorman, They talk about Willoughby's IQ. They talk about her athleticism is one thing. We know she's great, but boy.
We saw her IQ right there. That was a sizzling pass inside. It's a 2-point game once again. Maddie Rocci being harassed by Willoughby. Doesn't like the call. Here's another look. Just a little reach in with the left hand.
And clearly that's their focus now. Can we apply more heat to the ball, more ball pressure so the pass can't get into Jackson?
Rocci on Willoughby again and one.
And that's their counter. You get up and pressure me, then I'm going to put the ball on the floor. It's tough to go. We take away. This is what basketball and all sports are about. Counter, attack, attack. You do this, we'll counter with that. Now we've got to have a second counter. So we see here, Rocci attacks the pressure, puts the ball on the floor, finds the finish, uses her body, suckers a foul.
Gets herself to the line. Doesn't get the extra. Froling comes away with the board rather. Off to Munga Kahia.
Thankfully for the Sydney Flames, Willoughby, it's only her second personal.
Froling. Roosters cuts baseline. Munga Kahia. It's short. Everything was dropping in that opening term for both teams. It was 33-27 at quarter time. Since then, 13-15 in favour of the Flames with half a term to play.
Both teams really playing much tighter pressure defence. It hasn't been an open court running game. It's much more of a half court grind as LJ wheels and spins and gets the finish inside. Classic LJ.
She is up to 21 points and we are yet to reach the half. Panousis, Froling. Can she send a message back? Heavy on the shot. Away comes Rocci. Margin at 6. 4 to play in the second term. Maddie holds it up. Whistle off the ball.
Looks like it may be on Munga Kahia.
Let's head courtside to Megs.
I just went down to the Southside Flyers bench because Sarah Blitzards and Kayla Thornton haven't played much in this first half to date. Very much just a rotational management thing because they did play in Perth last week. They've got another game this weekend against Canberra. But watch out, Carrie Graf. Kayla Thornton has got a lot of big things to say. She's doing special comments from the Flyers bench and I think we should all be watching over our shoulder.
Also some foul issues for Thornton, Blitzards and Jackson might play into how much court time they have. Well, half-time, our special feature is going to be on Tiana Munga Kahia, one of the great stories, not only of Australian basketball, but of Australian sport. That's coming up at half-time.
Yeah, I'm very excited to be back in the league. It's obviously been a long time, and just being home and around Aussies is really nice. You know, getting back into the Opal squad is definitely one of my goals. I also feel like, you know, with everything I've been through, it's not the end goal, you know, like I also want a family, I want to do other things in life, so, but it's definitely still up there.
10 points in the opening half for Tiana Munga Kahia. And more on Tiana's story in her battle to overcome breast cancer at half-time. It's an inspirational one. And so wonderful to see her back doing what she loves.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and what a, as you say, it's coming up half-time. What a story, and what an athlete and what a person.
6-point lead to Southside. 4 minutes to play in the opening half of basketball at the Quayside Centre in Sydney. Jackson up to 21 points. Willoughby's got 12 and Munga Kahia 10 for Sydney. Conti, eyes darting. That was always the play. She was looking inside for Cole as Rocci and Conti collide awkwardly. Here's another look. Mon's eyes have it. Fires the pass and Cole turns around and goes, what happened there? Half my team's on the floor.
It's 10-pin bowling.
Maddie comes off. Maddie Rocci had a big first half. 9 points from her. She's been in everything. 4 assists. And again, just pulling up sore there. As Bet Cole will go to the line.
Couldn't get that one to rattle in.
85% free throw shooter career-wise for Bet Cole in 224 games.
Makes the adjustment beautifully. Shot that first one short. Guaranteed the second by going long.
Inside 4 minutes, 7-point lead to Southside. Rowe, Munga Kahia, she'll pull the trigger. And Again, bodies hit the floor off the ball. This time it's Rowe and Jackson both on the floor.
LJ said, "Oh, it's my broken foot. It's fine."
Which one's broken? Probably both over the journey. Oh, yes.
Hit.
Good to see both players back up and about.
Big free throws for Mangakahia here.
This game ebbing and flowing. Flyers look to start pulling away. Flames make a move and hold them back. So third person on LJ, and she will sit down just before half-time.
Could be a nice little break for the Sydney Flames. Having said that, the depth of the Flyers we've talked about. You take LJ out, who's absolutely on fire in career-type form.
21 points on 9 for 12 shooting with a fractured foot, if you don't mind, sustained in round 5. She's carried it ever since. Froling, Mangakahia. Big offensive 3.5 minutes here for Sydney. Can they get hot again? Almost. It rattles around, but won't drop for Tiana.
Well executed ball screen action. Keely Froling on the pop. Mangakahia stretched the defence, found herself a nice little step-back jumper.
Another off-the-ball foul. Pretty physical game, this one.
It is.
Big screens being thrown around.
Yeah, both teams. You know, we know the Sydney Flames team, regardless as to who's head coaching. We know Shelley Gorman's in as interim head coach with Shane Hill out. But they play physical and they play hard. They're not going to back down. Keely Froling's physical. And it's a big game. There's nothing to lose for the Sydney Flames team.
Sydney Kings in the house. Catch all the NBL action on ESPN. So Wednesday night WNBL game of the week. 7-point lead to the Flyers. Possession is with the Flames. Just over 3 minutes remaining in the opening half.
Yeah.
Offensive foul.
Panusis with the illegal screen.
Gee, there's been a lot of action off the ball tonight.
There's been loads, and I'm sure there'll be more.
Well, this second term has really become a stop-start, stilted kind of an affair. The first quarter was just wide open, 60 points between the two teams. It just rocketed from one end to another. There's been a lot of whistles in this second term. Just hasn't had the same sort of rhythm and flow. And there's another whistle.
Both teams cranked up their defensive intensity, made some adjustments on the individual scouts.
Panusis credited with the foul on Beck Cole. Beck will return to the line. So a chance here. Southside to just open up a handy break on the eve of half-time.
Big challenge for Sydney Flames. Can they claw this one back to, go into half-time? A couple of possessions, perhaps.
Beck makes both. It's a 9-point game.
Let's see if Coach Shelley Gorman, she's got another timeout up her sleeve. Does she pull one leading into half-time if there's need for momentum halting?
Panusis to Froling. Here's Tiana, thinks about pulling the trigger. This time she'll go herself. No Jackson there to guard the lane. Frustrated Tiana Mangakahia. Flyers ball. Conti brings it down the floor. Cole. Potch. Ernst feeds it inside. Pinot back out to Cole. Georgia then looks to set a screen. Cole being harassed here by Mangakahia. Here's Pinot again. Now Potch. 3 seconds left. Steps through. Another late foul on Sydney. This time it's Shervin.
Unlucky for them there. Right on the cusp of getting a shot clock violation or forcing a stop. Shervin just getting her hands in. Yeah, the leg. A little unlucky. Potch was slippery to get through that gap. Drew that foul.
Nadia Potch.
Gosh, she's had an impressive season as a young player, hasn't she?
One of 7 siblings. Just finished year 12. No college aspirations at this point. Is elected to go the Ezzy Magbagor route, stay in Australia, play professional basketball straight away, develop her game.
Smart move. Smart move.
Panusis. Shervin. Mangakahia. Feeds it inside to Hannah. Beautiful play, Tiana.
Great execution. We saw their high-low action between the point guard. A great roll down by Shervin. Get herself close to the rim. Liked her chances against the youngster.
Cole, busy as always. Steps back for the three. It's way short. Turns into a perfect pass for Pinot.
An assist. Beck Cole will claim that assist.
Quick break. And Rowe responds.
The crowd jumping on this Sydney Flames team back. Can they stay with them for this minute 42 in the second quarter?
Pinot to Cole. Koch looks to establish inside. Well done, Froling. Throws it away. And Sydney get a stop.
Excellent defence by the Sydney Flames. Great quick rotation by Keely Froling to jam up that post play, force the turnover.
Rowe, Froling, rolling. Over the top comes Shervin, keeps it alive. Mangaka here. That's significant.
Huge. All from that offensive possession. Got the O-glass, spat it out to the wide open Mangaka, who's feeling that three-point shot still.
So once again, they were looking at a double-digit deficit. They've got it back to 6. Still 70 seconds to play here, though. Cole, lovely find through to Pinot.
Wow, well executed. Rowe with the tempo push.
Final minute of what's been a fascinating first half. Shervin, Mangaka here. She likes that spot. Off the iron this time, but Shervin keeps it alive once more. And a foul. And then Tiana makes the long-range shot, which will not count.
Beck Cole called for the hands-on foul. Magakahia will go to the free throw line. And bonus.
So Jackson with 21, Willoughby with 12, Mangakahia with 10 and headed to the line. So 3 players in double figures as we head towards half-time. Tiana stepping up in the absence of Shyla Hill, but misses the first. Been 21 of 22 from the line coming into tonight. Now she's 3 out of 4, so a very rare miss for her. Margin sits at 7. And she gets the steal here. She's got some options again. The feed to Shervin.
Classy steal, whips it behind her back. 2-on-1 break, score.
5-point game, timeout, 34 seconds left in the opening half. This timeout brought to you by Cygnett. Make sure your Cygnett charging products are ready to power up your devices. Check them out at cygnett.com as we head to Cheryl Chambers.
We're going to go blue next play if they're in a zone. Okay, so Carly, you start as the shooter down low. Georgia, you're here. Okay, Coley, get through. Whoever's got the ball out of you, point guards, it doesn't matter. Get it to the next screen. See what we got there, okay? If it's against a zone, we're just in a blue. If it's a man-to-man, we're going to go loop. If they overplay the loop person, one of you two have to come and get the ball, okay? If they're going to overplay it, just get it to there and go back door here.
Also, in trans, when the guard catches it, our wings need to run. We're all standing so close and get it big to the basket.
All right, here we go. Come on, let's go. Let's get some stops. Southside.
It's been an interesting game, Carrie. 5 points in it with 34 seconds left in the opening half.
And who would have thought, who would have called that at the start of this game? But we said anything can happen. As we said, this second quarter has been a tussle. Half-court grind, physical defence. And now it's a ball game still. You know, Cheryl Chambers there alerting her team. We might see man, we might see zone. And really back to the defensive focus. It's all about defence for this team.
Still a high-scoring contest, isn't it? 57-52 with 25 seconds to play in the half. Here's Conti. Cole. Working into position. Can she get a shot away? She can, but not a really effective one.
Big defensive stanza by the Sydney Flames. Switching on their defence, find a way to get a stop.
Now they get the final shot. Mangakahia tries to shake Conti. Panousis is open. Oh, yes!
Huge by Panousis.
Perfect finish to the first half for Sydney. And they close the gap. It's a 3-point game at the half. Southside 57, Sydney 55 rather.
What a ripper, look at this. Mangakahia sucks in the defence coming off a ball screen, spits it out to Panousis, who strokes that 3 ball with 2 seconds to play. Clock winds down. What a great first half of basketball from both teams, but particularly for the Sydney Flames. Without their head coach Shane Hill, without their star point guard Shyla Hill, they're in this ball game.
They scored 28 points to 24 in that second term. They trailed by 6 at quarter time, 2 at the half as we head to Megs.
Well, Tiana, it's been a huge 24 hours for the Flames. How can you embrace this energy and emotion and harness it in the second half?
Yeah, I feel like this game really brings out our character, and I think, you know, we need everyone to step up and we need to move the ball and just play as a team. And I think that's what we're doing, so.
Lauren Jackson, the GOAT, has 21 points. How can you starve the GOAT in the second half?
She's tough, man. She's hard to guard. You know, we might have to start doubling her. But, I mean, regardless, she's still going to get hers. She's amazing.
You guys are playing tough too. Thanks for your time. Good luck in the second.
Thank you.
More on Tiana's story on the other side of this break. It is halftime at the Quaycentre in Sydney. The Flyers 57, Sydney 55. This is ESPN's WNBL Game of the Week. Yeah, gotcha, mate. 3-point shooting, 52% and 66% for Southside.
What's that, sorry? Yep, I do.
56% and 70%, the shooting percentages for the two teams. 70%.
Any snacks, sugars?
All good, thanks, mate.
I'm good, thank you.
Rebound battle, 15-10 in favour of Flyers. Yeah, she's had a great, particularly that first quarter, but yeah, definitely. Showing what she's capable of. And still so young in basketball terms. Yep. So Sydney have actually had 2 more shots than Southside.
Yeah, interesting, right?
Mm. So they're getting their looks. I mean, you could say, well, that's because they miss one and they get the O board and they get another shot. But it doesn't matter how you get them.
Yeah, you're still getting them. Well, and that's it. They're not turning the ball over. Like, they're looking after the ball.
Yeah, turnovers 10-8. They've only had 8.
Which is good. Yeah. And because turnovers kill you against Southside because it's almost a guaranteed score.
Mm. They're getting their looks. They're making their shots. So points from turnover, 20-16 in favour of Sydney.
Yep.
Points in the paint, 24.
Yeah, I'm very excited to be back in the league. It's obviously been a long time, and just being home and around Aussies is really nice.
Syracuse University's women's basketball player Tiana Mangakahia revealing she has been diagnosed with stage 2 breast cancer at just 24 years of age.
2019, I was just in the shower and I found a lump on my breast. My mum was like, you need to go to the doctor. So I went and she was like, oh, you're so young, like, come back in a month. And then I go back like a month and a bit later, and then that's when like the nurse starts kind of like freaking out, and she's like, we need to get scans and ultrasounds and everything. The process through chemo and through my surgeries, it was really positive. The tumour was shrinking and then the surgeries went well. So as much as it sucked, I was really down. It was things were working out.
Tiana Mangakahia's surgery has been a success, and she is now cancer-free.
I feel I'm a very free player and sometimes a bit too free, so Shane is helping me kind of be a little bit more structured and just learning when I can be free and do what I want.
30 seconds left. Mangakahia.
Oh,
has got it with the fist pump as well.
Yeah, just being the best, honestly, like teammate and player that we need.
It's one of the great comeback stories in Australian sport, isn't it? Tiana Mangakahia, a talented junior, a great college career, then 17 months away from the game she loved after a double mastectomy and reconstructive surgery. Change of meds midway through 2021 really made all the difference for her, Carrie. It allowed her to drop weight and get back to her natural size, which then allowed her to regain her zip and fall back in love with the game again. She's such a talented young guard, and the best, as we saw in that first half, is yet to come.
Yeah, absolutely. And what a great story. I mean, a story of persistence, handling adversity. And for her, we heard her say at the halftime break too, that there's things I want to do. Yes, basketball's here, but I want to have kids and I want to do this. And, the perspective that going through that adversity has had for her, you can see it in her love of the game and what she wants to do in life.
14 points for Tiana in the first half, really put the team on her back and got them going, particularly in that first quarter where she had 10. And as she mentioned, Shane Hill's been working with her this year on, she's a very natural, free-flowing, instinctive style player, Carrie, and that's great. And the challenge as a coach now is to fit that inside a system, but not lose that natural flair.
Absolutely. It's the balance of the two. She's got to be Tiana Mangakahia. That's who she is. That's what she's great at. But that bit of structure helps. And we saw it, at the start of this game, she hit those wide open threes, helped put the team on her back. Second quarter, tough defence. She got out on the break. And she knows she had to step up tonight. Shyla Hill's out. More minutes for her. She played all 20 minutes, 14 points, 6 assists, 2 steals. Tough.
Let's take a look at the halftime numbers. Sydney actually putting up 2 more shots than Southside in the first half, both shooting at an incredible clip. 70% Southside, 56% Sydney. Points in the paint, that bottom one, Carrie, the big number.
All LJ. I mean, she must have had 20 of those 24. And she was on fire, wasn't she? I mean, she hit the 3 early in the game. They went inside to her early. We saw some great defence by Sydney. Keely Froling matched up on her, did a great job, makes a big shot. Shervin steps up on her, adjusts her defence to the scout, makes a huge shot. She's the GOAT for a reason.
It's a fascinating tactical battle, isn't it? Lots of storylines and subplots in this one. We get set for third quarter action. ESPN's WNBL game of the week. It is half time. It's Southside leading it by 2 points. You're a coach that puts much credence into the plus minus. It seems to be one of the things that is so Getting set for third quarter action at the Quaycentre in Sydney. High-scoring opening term, it was 33-27 Sydney. Then in the second term, the Flames managed to claw their way back. They won the term 28-24, and at the half, they trailed by just 2 points. It's 57-55 Southside. What's Shelley Gorman's message to her players, Carrie Graff?
More of the same. I think we're going to hear her say, stick to do what we did well. I think the defensive intensity really lifted in that second quarter. They made some adjustments with LJ. Some of their switching was really good. We might see some adjustments defensively. This is the conundrum. Do you let LJ get hers and limit everyone else? Or do you change your tactics on her and see what happens? So it'll be interesting to see where they go with that. Offensively, as she said, keep moving the ball, get it through sets of hands. They're going to be happy with where they're at.
The Flyers are in a scrap, Megs. What did Cheryl Chambers have to say at halftime?
No surprise, defence with the capital D was the message loud and clear from Cheryl Chambers at halftime. Sarah Blitzarves and Kayla Thornton starting for the Flyers in this second half, and Sydney going with Panousis over Rowe as they begin their second half.
Great crowd in at the Quaycentre. Enjoying this one. 112 points in the first half of basketball. Been fun to watch.
Entertaining hoop, big shots, big one-on-one contests, momentum swings.
And if you like D, there was some pretty physical D in that second term as well, Carrie.
Off the ball D, there certainly was. It'll be interesting to see here too. Foul trouble could be an issue for both teams. LJ with 3, Thornton with 3, Willoughby with 3. You know, do the Southside Flyers go at Willoughby on this opening offensive set?
Third quarter action. Great to have you with us on ESPN and KO Sports. Important one, this one for the Flyers. Early turnover goes to Munga Kahia. And then Rochi fouls in her bid to try and win possession back. I was going to say, important game for the Flyers as they look to keep pace with the Boomers, and just as important for the Flames as they look to try and keep their finals hopes alive. And, well, early win there for Tiana.
Massive, you know, opens with a steal, stop, and then draws a foul. That's a double whammy.
Shervin. Panousis, as Megs mentioned, got the start in the second half. Froling. There's Munga Kahia. Baseline, steps around Blitzarves. Will she go herself? Wheels around Jackson. Out to Panousis for the 3. Can't get it to drop, but Shervin's in there scrapping, and she extracts a foul on Blitzarves. And that's Sarah's third as well.
Wow. Look, this is what you get from effort plays. We see Panousis take the wide open 3. Hustle play by Shervin. Stay on the ball, stay on the offensive glass, suckers a foul. Great play by the young post.
She's got better and better as the season's gone on. She came in as a backup, really.
She did, forced to start with Purcell out. As we see Keely Froling, wheel and deal inside, little scoop to finish.
Speaking of Purcell, congratulations to Kalani and Tyrell. In the news this week, they're going to have a baby girl. Sitting out the season. Jackson for 3.
Starts the second quarter like she started the game. Open 3. Ouch.
Here to Willoughby. Arms in defensive coverage. Jocelyn loses the handle and away. Scurries Rochi. Good start again here for the Flyers. They jumped out of the blocks in the opening term.
Yeah, impressive basketball both ends. Good offense, good defense to match. Munga Kahia puts it on the floor, finds herself wide open, but can't make it.
Somehow found herself open through that traffic. Cole thought about pulling the trigger from 3. Rochi likewise. Jackson says, well, I will. It's short.
Too wide open.
She's got 24 points, Lauren Jackson. Willoughby. Good response again from Sydney, who've just had a happy nap tonight of staying in touch.
That they have. Undermanned, their head coach is out. Shyla Hill, their starting point guard, is out. And here they are, 2 points down on the second place Sydney Southside Flyers team that are loaded with talent and led by the GOAT.
Speaking of, there's 2 more. 26 for LJ.
Southside have been proficient at getting the ball inside to her. She's an unbelievable catch, but boy, can she finish inside there. One player's on it, one player on it, double teamed.
Munga Kahia.
Puts it on the deck, gets on the rim hard, draws a foul. The referee's waved off her basket. Or will it be a 3-point play with the and one? Let's have a look at it.
So it'll be the third on Maddie Rochi.
Foul on the drive, I think. 2.
Looks like she's going to the line to shoot 2. It's a chance to tie things up.
One finger
the extra.
Up. It's a bonus.
So it's a 1-point game.
Massive.
Flyers have led all night. Flames haven't had their noses in front at any stage. Southside led by 11 at one point. They jumped out and scored the first 8 of the game. Sydney back within a single point. Jackson, Rochi, Thornton. Beautiful.
Wow. Inside pivot, checks that the defence is off, strokes the shot. She's had a wonderful rookie season in the WNBL as a professional veteran, played all around the world.
Froling, Mangakahia. It's been a really impressive night from Tiana, hasn't it? Froling does well. Keeps it alive here for Sydney. Panousis. Shot clock to 5. Shervin, lovely.
Wow.
Eels goes, banks and scores.
Over the goat. Maintained her composure. We heard interim head coach Shelley Gorman speak to her team in the timeout, have poise. Shervin did that. I got the goat on me. I'll just go to my low post repertoire. As Thornton strokes the 3 but can't make it.
Cole cleared out some space. Kaylee couldn't make the shot. And away comes Willoughby. Shervin sets up inside against Thornton. Mangakahia looks. Elects to go. Froling. Panousis. Back to Froling. She's got some space. Still alive. Panousis inside. Shervin. Sydney lead for the first time.
Wow. Look at their effort on the boards. Offensive boards. They've got people with their feet in the paint. They tap the ball loose. They come up with a second possession. And then a nice little inside finish for Shervin.
Thornton. Blitz arms. Jackson. Now Cole. So Southside to respond. Rochi. Mangakahia comes away. So momentum at the moment with Sydney. Crowd getting involved. Long ball in for Shervin. Nicely knocked away by Rochi. And now Blitz Arms can bring it back up the floor. Links up with Bet Cole. Rochi beautifully done through to Thornton. Lovely ball movement Southside.
Speak about poise. Rochi just slowed the tempo, hesitate dribble, draw the defence, find the easy dump inside to Thornton.
And snatch back the lead. Mangakahia. Froling. Let's head courtside to Megs.
Gosh, haven't the crowds been phenomenal in the Cygnett WNBL this season? A real buzz here in the Quaycentre right now. A great turnout by the Sydney fans tonight. As you mentioned, Jace, too, great to see the Kings in the house too, supporting their players, but we know Sydney don't do their basketball so well, and it's another case of that again here tonight.
Thanks, Megs. So no Shane Heal, no Shyla Heal for Sydney. So Shelley Gorman stepping in to coach her first official game as a head coach in the WNBL after a stellar 321-game career. And here she is. So passionate there from Keely Froling. They don't want to fight.
Absolutely, and that's how Keely Froling plays. They're up for the fight. They're like, we can contest and hang with this team. Defensively, they've done a super job. Even though it's high scoring, often people say, oh, it's high scoring, there's no defence. That's not the case.
The timeout brought to you by DIY Blinds. To fit out your homes with Australian-made, designer quality window furnishings at the best prices, DIYblinds.com.au. Plenty of passion and spirit in the Flames camp. And for the Flyers, well, Carrie, talk us through the mindset. When you're in a scrap, you're high on the ladder, you're facing a team much lower than you on the ladder, but they bring it, it turns into a real dogfight. As a coach, how do you get the best out of your players?
Yeah, look, it's coming, sticking to the game plan and going with what's working and taking all that stuff out. We're focused on the moment. What do we do in this play? What do we do in the next play? And getting everyone back on the same page. What were our goals for the game? It was to go inside. It was to get possession. And stick with that. You've got to, Coach Cheryl Chambers said today, we have to focus on us, focus on the Southside Flyers. Let's stick to that game plan.
Panousis after the Jackson shot misses. Froling cuts to the basket. Sydney back in front. So Southside, a team with such talent, such experience. Had some massive wins this year. They find themselves in a scrap here.
It's been this second and third quarter have been half-court grind. Both teams locked up in the half court as Cole with a little step back three, falls short. Well defended by Sydney.
Away comes Munga Kahia again. Pace on. Froling. It's the same play. She tried to cut to the hoop, but Blitzarves read it well.
Nice block by Blitzarves. Didn't foul, didn't get her hands in. Waiting for the ball to come to her as a shot blocker.
Whistle off the ball as Munga Kahia hits the deck, and Thornton not happy with the call. The offensive foul. Kayla's got 4.
Let's see it here on the replay. Yeah, nudged her out, pushed her out, had post position. You know, interesting one too. If that was post on post, player wouldn't probably fall on the floor. No foul called. Big on little. The referees see physical play. Oh, the small little person. That must be an offensive foul. Thornton not happy. Goes to the bench with her 4th personal foul. Massive play.
Flames lead it by 1. Kayla frustrated. She's trying to compose herself. She has had some frustrations this season with the refereeing.
And then it's often, you know, when you come to another country to play, she's played all around the world. The refereeing styles are different. Yeah, and I've got to say, Australian referees are world-renowned. We have a lot of Australian referees that referee at major international tournaments, but it is called differently. You know, it's called differently to how it's called in Poland or how it's called in Korea or how it's called in the WNBA. That's just the nature of playing international basketball. And the quicker you can respond and adjust to it, the easier it makes your transition.
So Shelley addresses her troops. They lead by 1, 4:14 left on the clock. We said at the start of the night, unpredictability makes you dangerous. We've seen it in the league over and over. And the Flyers in a real fight here as we head down to Megs.
We saw Kayla Thornton frustrated a few seconds ago. She didn't join in on that timeout. She just took herself away from the bench and just rocked out. Is that what the cool kids say? To some music playing in the stadium for a while. Just composed herself. She's hyping herself up. Just love the colour, the excitement and everything that the imports bring to our league.
Thanks, Megs. I'm the last person you should ask about what the cool kids say.
Nor me. I'm way too old.
Willoughby.
Woo! I'm not too old for that, though. God damn!
Hits the 3 and they lead by 4. Jackson. Some time here for Southside to make some adjustments and respond. Conti. Jackson tries to get to position and does.
Keely Froling played great D, straight up and down, didn't want to foul her. LJ just used her body, rolls off with such great precision and finds a way to finish as Willoughby pulls up. Can't make that pull-up, Jay, at the free throw line. Gets her own rebound.
Can't finish. And away comes Sarah Blitzarves. Flies looking to jack up the intensity. You can feel the tempo rising at the Quaycentre, and they tie things up again.
This is an interesting bit of momentum here. You know, you got time? When do you use your timeouts for momentum? You don't want them to get away from you. It's a 2-point ball game. Sit tight for a little bit. You can't let them get out on the break. This Southside Flyers team are excellent when they can create steals and get out and run.
Scores level, 3 minutes to play in the third, and Froling.
Massive 3, Keely Froling.
She's got 16 points. Munga Kahia's got 17 and Willoughby 15. They're sharing the load around well. Ernst, Blitzarves. She's got Jackson inside. She'll go herself. It's off the iron. And away comes Willoughby. Munga Kahia sets. And misses.
That would have set the house on fire.
Jackson, Cole. Quick ball movement here. Ernst can't finish. Shervin hauls it in.
You feel the tightness with the Southside Flyers on those last couple of sets. Munga Kahia on the deck. Conti called for the foul. Munga Kahia will go to the free throw line.
Here's another look. She takes Mon on. Mon just the reach in there, you can see. Trying to strip it with the left. Called for the foul. So Tiana Munga Kahia.
Excellent free throw shooter.
Averaging 10 points a game this season. She's already up to 17.
Boy, she's had a game tonight. You know, high intensity, hit the open 3, put the ball on the deck. Big shots when her team needed it, big plays.
No Shyla Heal, she's seeing a lot more of the ball. Plays being run through her, a lot more carry. We talk about that unpredictability. Here's Panousis. This isn't something that the Flyers have scouted for all week. Panousis, little step. Pops it over the top. In the end, it was almost half a shot, and Conti can come away with it.
Southside happy to just set up a half-court set here. Let's see what they'll run. They might. LJ's calling for on the three-point line.
Get it through some hands. Jackson gets open and gets it to go. LJ up to 30.
You say jam her up. You jam her up. She goes left and shoots a runner. She's 41 years old, mother of two, in a comeback year after years out with injury. She's putting a show on tonight.
Willoughby Shervin turns it over. Ernst. Potch, she loses the handle as well as the pressure continues to rise at the Quaycentre.
Yeah, that's a pressure turnover. Getting a little excited. You're on the break, but the heat's on. They're down by 2. Wouldn't expect to be in this situation against this Sydney Flames team. Having said that, any Sydney Flames team is going to fight. They're going to play hard D. They're going to hang around in games. And boy, have they hung around in this one.
They lead it by 2. 80 seconds left in the third. Munga Kahia receives from Willoughby. Now to Shervin, who's been impressive. Panousis, confronted by Jackson, pops it over the top.
Everyone is coming to the party. Panousis off the ball screen, shoots the pull-up, Jay. Massive.
Tried to swipe it away from Rochi there. Maddie hangs on.
Sydney Flames team are playing loose but poised offensively and intensely defensively.
Bodies hit the floor again off the ball. Jackson was the collateral damage in that. She was the last to go down. 2 players wrestling in the key, and Lauren tripped over the top of them. Here's another look. Here's that previous play. And there we go. So down went Rochi, as per usual. Froling, as per usual. Those 2 hit the floor.
As you say, LJ was a collateral damage. LJ probably feeling every bit of 41 years of age right now, but boy, is she playing sensational basketball.
She's up to 30 points with a quarter and 1 minute to go. If you're wondering, 48, her all-time record of the WNBL against West Coast back in 2003. Whistle on the play.
Well, nicely executed play there. They had the double screen set to get through the gate. We saw Blickharves cut through the middle of those 2 post players. They shut the gate, get her a wide open shot. Foul might have been called in that, pushing through that double screen action.
Ball to the sideline. 14 on the clock. Blitzarves. She tried to get it inside to Jackson. Potch did. Munga Kahia was a wake-up. Well done, Nadio. Kept it alive. They get it through hands. It'll end up back with Jackson.
Sydney did a great job there in the ball screen action. They switched. They had a mismatch. LJ had a small on her back, but Munga Kahia read the ball well, sat off Potch. Made the steal on the feed to the post as we see her with the ball, spits it out to Rowe, who swings it to Froling.
Shervin, shot blocked by Potch. 16 seconds left in the quarter, 5 on the shot clock. Can Sydney come up with some points here?
Interesting to see here what Sydney do. Do they score early off this base out of bounds play? Do they use all this clock and go into the third quarter with momentum? Either 4 up or 6 or 7 up.
Foul called with 3 seconds left on the shot clock. Foul on Potch. So that will send Tiana Munga Kahia to the free throw line. She's 5 for 7 tonight.
You'd like to say normally you'd guarantee these 2, but let's not give her the commentator's curse.
26 of 29 for the season. That's just fact, not opinion. And she makes the first. And it's a 6-point game with 1 possession here for the Flyers to eat into that lead. Rochi, will she go herself? She will. She'll draw a foul, shot won't drop. She'll go to the line and shoot 2 of her own.
Another excellent free throw shooter, Maddie Rochi. Smart play there, put the ball on the floor, get yourself close to the rim. If not, sucker that foul.
Will also give the Flames 5 seconds to go back the other way, potentially.
May have been a bit too soon. Should they, play a little late, a little deeper into that clock?
Maddie makes the first. Been in everything tonight as per usual. Just such a dynamic player. She makes them both. So 5 seconds here for the Flames to come up with something. Is it Panusis putting up a prayer? She does. Can't make it. But at three-quarter time, Sydney have their noses in front. It's been a tight one. It's been a fun one all night. It was the Flies by 6 at quarter time, Flies by 2 at the half. But as we turn for home on Wednesday night hoops, it's Sydney 80, Southside 76.
So we want to keep going at LJ, all right? Pick and roll. We keep going with Gets. Gets, thumbs. I want to go 34, okay? I want to stick with that. We're going to stick there. We need, centre field, guys, we need to get it done, okay? And we need to call when LJ's getting down on the block. We need to call it. We need to get that help, okay?
Are you hearing that up screen?
Oh, you did hear it?
Yeah, I'm hearing it. They're calling it 5 up. That's the back screen. Yeah, I just got to ride her over.
They're blocking on
Yeah, try and get over, okay? And you want to beat her to the block, all right? Guys, great job.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, great job, all right?
Right here.
Yeah.
Hey, 10 more minutes. Let's go. Flames on 3, 1, 2, 3, Flames.
All right, time for the next one. Tearaway points. That's like...
Getting set for final quarter action at the Quaycentre in Sydney, ESPN's WNBL Game of the Week. It is the Flames 80, the Flyers 76. Sydney outscoring Southside 53-45 since quarter time. And this one is up for grabs. Jason Bennett, Carrie Graff and Megan Huswaite with you for Wednesday night hoops on ESPN and KO Sports. Panusis, Froling. Back out to Panusis, puts it on the floor, gets to the stripe, can't make the shot. And now a chance for the Flyers to draw first blood in this final term. Lauren Jackson with 30 points. Munga Kahia's got 20 for Sydney. Here is LJ for another three. It's short. And here comes Tiana.
Maybe a little fatigue in those LJ legs. Looked a little short on that one. They executed that play for a little horns action.
Here runs out of options, so she feeds it back to Rowe. Now Shervin, Panusis again, confronted by Jackson. So back to Shervin, who shoots the three.
Huge! Boy, has she come to play. What a complimentary piece she's been in tonight's game. Big ask for her, having to defend Lauren Jackson. We heard Shelley Gorman in the timeout. So we want to go to LJ, involve her in ball screen action. That they did, stretched her out. Shervin strokes that three.
Just her second in the WNBL. She's now 2 for 5 from three-point range. Couldn't have come at a better time. They lead by 7. Jackson feeds it out. Thornton, can she get hot?
Wow, this is looking like the first quarter.
Back to 4. Munga Kahia. Panusis. Flips it back. Shervin. Back to Panusis. Not this time.
Tired bodies out there. It was up and down in the first quarter. Physical grind, half-court grind in the second and third quarters.
Really physical game off the ball. It's knocked away from Thornton, who wants the call, won't get it. Munga Kahia comes away. Drop. Froling. Sydney ball.
Munga Kahia's played every minute of this game so far.
Megan Huswaite courtside.
Focus and communication were the major themes for Sydney at three-quarter time. Shelley Gorman full of praise for Hannah Shervin and the job that she is doing and the role she's playing in this game. A lot of messaging around when LJ gets down in the block that they need to call it, but Shelley really happy with the effort and energy from her players in this first three quarters.
She's been impressive, Megs, hasn't she? Just watching her and listening to her tonight, she's got energy and passion, but so controlled and so calm. It's a great balance. Mangakahia makes the first. Tell us a little bit about Shelley as a personality, Carrie. You played with her, you coached her, you know her well.
Yeah, look, she's a classy person. She's actually an introvert and quite shy, but she's calm, she knows people, she's just a quality human, and that's coming out in her coaching. And as an athlete, she was an unbelievable work ethic, outworked everyone and had sheer talent and probably underestimated her talent. She's so humble, but she's got so many of the traits that make a great coach in my mind.
Crowley misses the shot. Jackson, Thornton, trying to work through Shervin. Foul call. Kaylee gets the call.
That's against number 34, Hannah Shervin. Third personal, first team foul.
Third on Shervin.
Tough Shervin, good D, hands up. Thornton sitting on 4 fouls. Shervin did a great job to try and keep her body in front, maybe suck her a charge foul. But classy, professional veteran that Thornton is, found a way and finds her way to the free throw line. Clunks the first.
And misses the second as well. So the margin stays at 5. Danousis. More court time tonight in the absence of Shyla Hill. Mangakahia has very much been the focus offensively. Another whistle off the ball. We spoke a little bit earlier, Carrie, about unpredictability, being dangerous, etc. Well, Cheryl Chambers hasn't scouted all week for Tiana Mangakahia to have the ball in her hands as much as she has tonight. She's come away with 21 points, still got 7.5 to play.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a challenge. You're not going to flip your game plan. They would have prepared for Shyla Hill. Shyla's involved in a lot of ball screen action. Mangakahia, on the other hand, hasn't scored her points through ball screen action in general. It's been open threes, off-ball movement, a little bit of transition, as we see here, just in a one-on-one scenario, trying to break down the D.
Can't get through that traffic. Good representation in the lane there from the Flyers. Thornton. She go to Jackson. Kicks it back a little further. Rochi. She pulled the trigger on a deep 3 over Tiana here. Gets the screen from Jackson. There's a whistle.
Shervin, I think, with the hands in there. She had good body position.
That's her 4th.
Yeah, foul count's going to be interesting for both teams down the stretch. Yeah, they've gone on the switch on that. No need to get your hands in. It's tempting at times. As we see Shervin take a break with the 4th personal.
So once again, the dynamic changes. Flames by 5. Rochi. Catch and shoot from Blitzarves is good.
Huge. She's been quiet by her terms this evening, but tough when LJ's got so much of the ball and doing well, but that's what the really good players do. When you need a bucket, regardless of whether they've had a hot hand, they step up, and we know that corner 3 is huge. Favourite spot for Sarah Blitzarves.
The first points from just her 3rd shot. Froling to respond. Foul. Is it on Thornton? If so, it'd be a 5th. Over the back, I think it's on Blitzarves. It is. So 4th on Blitzarves. Thornton's got 4, Rochi's got 4, Jackson's got 3.
Yeah, that's for Sydney. Can they attack these? Now's an opportunity. You're going to get yourself an easier look. No one's going to hit you hard here. They're going to play somewhat safe.
Well, Willoughby and Shervin have got 4 apiece as well. Shervin currently sitting down. Here's Mangakahia. And there's a foul on Potch.
Just like that, yeah.
Yep, I understand.
My bad, coach, my bad.
Right in front of the bench. Worst possible place to foul.
Yeah, Sydney are a very good free throw shooting team. If Flyers get their foul count up, means they're going to the line.
Youngest team in the competition, the Sydney Flames, against the oldest, the Southside Flyers. Will experience count down the stretch here. Munga Kahia steps back. Filthy!
Wow! Step back between the legs, off the ball screen. Huge for Munga Kahia.
Margin out to 4. And a hold off the ball. And every foul. That's her 5th, so Willoughby's out of the game. I was about to say every foul met with bated breath. Given so many players in foul trouble, and Jocelyn Willoughby is out of the game. 18 points for her. And once again, the dynamic changes. Shervin is on 4. So they're 2 bigs. One's gone, and the other is on her last foul.
Her last
Froling as well. And Keely Froling is only on 1, so she's okay. She can be a little more aggressive.
Challenge now for interim head coach Shelley Gorman. But, you know, star athlete fouled out. What do you go with? What are the rotations? You've also got your starting star point guard out in Shyla Hill. This is a tough one, you know, reliant scoring for Munga Kahia down the stretch. Keely Froling will step up for them. Can they stay out of foul trouble?
Emma Clark's checked into the game for Sydney. Under 6 minutes to play. They lead by 4. Rochi against Panousis. Lovely find inside Thornton. Blocked initially by Clark. It makes the second.
Classy Thornton. That's a pro, a real pro. Sydney Flames switching. She maintained her composure.
She's got 14 points. So side trails by 2. Munga Kahia. Not with that one. Rochi gathers just inside the half court. Scurries away. Potch in the corner. Off to Blitzarves. Likes that spot, but it's short on this occasion. Tempo rising again. 2-point game. Lovely feed. Froling the miss. Hands on her head in frustration.
2 of those wide open ones are often tougher than when you're contested.
Rochi to regain the lead. Thornton comes across, impacts the board. Potch to Rochi. Takes on Panousis. Spins. Draws a foul.
Smart play, Rochi. Wheeled and dealed, backed her down, liked her chances against the smaller Panousis. Finds her way to the free throw line. We see it again. Crossover, step through, shakes and bakes. Tough to defend.
She can tie things up, but she misses the first.
Pressure, feels like a final.
Reduces the margin to 1. Potch closes down on Panousis. She was looking for a steal on the inbound. Vanessa brings it up the court. Froling. Munga Kahia. Left open. Rattles out.
Gosh, they're executing well with Sydney Flames. Putting their 2 best players on the floor at the moment. Munga Kahia and Froling in a ball screen action. Executed well. Found herself a wide open shot with Munga Kahia. Couldn't get it to drop.
Sydney shooting at 47, which is impressive, but Southside are going at 59 from the field. Shooting tonight's been outstanding, and Kayla Thornton gives Southside the lead once more with 4:20 to play. This timeout brought to you by Aussie Hoops, who had its biggest year ever in 2022. 42,000 kids aged 5 to 10 getting their introduction to basketball. If you've got a youngster who'd love to kickstart their basketball journey, go to aussiehoops.basketball.
Okay? When we're saying take good shots, let's still be sharp. We're not getting each other free. We're being really sloppy. Okay? I want you to set good screens and still make hard cuts. Okay? We're going away from that. Alright? Yeah, the next point.
Yeah. So I'll take LJ now. I think on that last one, we just can't switch when we don't need to because then we're not running the ball.
Yeah, LJ, let's go get. Let's go. Hey, let's go get. Let's go with a pass, okay? I want to go with a pass. Don't dribble off it. Pass, and then we'll go second side. Here we go.
Guys on 3, 1, 2, 3.
Meanwhile, in the Flyers huddle, Megan Huswaite.
The message from Cheryl Chambers was that we've done all the hard work here. We've got to get a stop. They're going to keep going inside, and Kayla Thornton is the woman that they're looking for.
So Sydney agreeing that Keely Froling will now take the job on Lauren Jackson, given Shervin sitting on 4 fouls.
Yeah, look, and that's tough for them. They've got Willoughby out with 5 fouls. That means they've got to go deeper into their bench. You know, they've got players out here in the clutch that wouldn't have been in this situation before, but can they hang on here?
Panousis, here is Shervin. Mungaka here, matched up against Jackson, feeds it inside to Shervin. Kicks it out, wide open Kira Rowe. Shervin contests the board, wins it back, then is stripped of it by Blitzarves. Mungaka here comes across to try and force a steal, but gives away a foul, her second.
Yeah, Sydney, good execution there. Wide open looks, almost come up with possession on the glass. You know, when you get fatigued, when your roster's depleted a little bit, makes it tough, but they're trying to execute their game plan. We saw Southside Flyers then switching a little bit. They didn't quite attack that. Now team's in bonus.
Sarah Blitzarves lit it up a couple of weeks ago with a 41-point game in her 251st appearance. Just a stunning performance. Just the 4 points tonight. She's been very much a role player, being involved, feeding others when the likes of Jackson are hot with 30. Thornton's had 16 and Rochi's had 14. Sarah's just slotted in around them and played her role. Froling. Mungaka here. Shot selection critical now for the Flames. This is the difference between being in a game and winning a game. We were talking about earlier, Carrie, and Tiana turns it over there.
Yeah, tough one there. You know, we saw them, we've got Froling and Mungaka here in the ball screen action there. Southside Flyers are going with a 3-way switch, so for an instant you got a mismatch, and then LJ came and absorbed. You see her there. Yeah, tough. You know, can they hang on in this one? Can they maintain their confidence? Can they execute like they have? But the shots just haven't been dropping for them. But biggest thing, can they maintain the stops? Can they get stops?
Pressure here from Mungaka here on Rochi. She gives up another foul, her third.
See the Sydney Flames in the huddle there. Keely Froling, captain, directing the traffic a little.
And in the bonus, so Rochi will go to the line. A chance to extend this lead to 5 points. They led by 11 at one stage early, Southside. Scored the first 8 points of the game. Don't forget, if you're in Melbourne, you want to see an historic occasion. Lauren Jackson at John Cain Arena. Flies in the Flames, Saturday, February 4. Tickets available now from Ticketek. And as Carrie mentioned earlier, more than 5,000 already sold. It's going to be a great night for women's basketball. Great night for Australian basketball.
If you want to see an icon of Australian sport, get out and see that. You know, we're seeing her in fine form tonight.
She's had 30. Maddie Rochi makes her 15th and her 16th. And the Southside making their move with 3:28 left on the clock. They now lead by 5. Flames have hung in all night. Can they continue to do so here? Panousis, execution, everything for Sydney now. Froling, Rowe, back to Panousis, shot clock to single digits. Does Vanessa go herself? She goes to Mungaka here. They really need it. She really brings it.
The lady of the night. We saw her at halftime. What a great story she is. But what a game tonight for her.
2-point game again. She's up to 26. Thornton backs in against Shervin. Can't finish. Shervin brings it down. Off to Rowe. Now Panousis. Mungaka here. Goes herself. Can't give them back the lead. Froling and Rochi scrap for the board. 2-point game, 2:35 left.
As you will see the replay here, Panousis backs it out. Mungaka wide open, strokes that. The lady of the moment.
So the foul will send Southside back to the line again. Let's head courtside to Megs.
Well, the crowd are in raptures thanks to Tiana Mangakahia, and this is the first game in a long time that she hasn't been on court with her fellow guard general in Charlotte Hill. They played together during the last NBL 1 season last year and then have come into a pre-season and then WNBL 23 together here with the Flames.
And that offense running through her tonight has looked good.
And the spread of scoring for the Sydney Flames. You know, 4 people in double digits. Shervin stepped up.
Flyers lead by 4. 2:25 left on the clock. Sydney crowd getting behind their team. Panousis against Poch. Vanessa gets to the stripe, goes to the corner for Shervin, and she hits it. Over the goat. Back to a 1-possession game.
Shervin's been impressive tonight. Been excellent on the boards.
Got 16 points, 6 rebounds for Hannah Shervin. Rochi, Thornton, always a threat. Will she take on Mangakahia? Backs up, kicks out, Poch. Not quite, and there's another board for Shervin, a big contested board. Mangakahia thought about setting the feet and pulling the trigger for 3. Instead, she backs out. Almost stepped on the half-court line, which would have been disastrous. Draws a crowd. Froling cuts to the hoop. Can't finish. Gets it back. Sydney ball.
It's well executed. 2 ball screens up for a Horns action. She comes off that Froling on the roll down. Got her inside. Couldn't make the shot. Gets her own possession. They find the ball base out of bounds. 8 seconds on the shot clock.
Both sides in the bonus. Keeley wanted the call. Didn't get it on the foul. Panousis. Shot clock to 5. Does she go herself? Goes to Froling. Massive shot. Won't go. Shervin and Jackson. And it's a Southside ball.
Shervin battle on the glass end, making it tough. You know, she's given it inch away or 2 to the GOAT, LJ. But boy, she's been impressive on the boards at both ends of the floor tonight for the Sydney Flames.
1:24 left on the clock. What a game this has been. So much fun. High scoring, intense, physical, fast, furious. Flames and Flyers. Thornton. Poch. Here's Jackson. Can LJ make a big statement? Well done, Thornton. Clean hands. Rochi, huge shot. Won't go. Flames get the ball back with a minute to play. They trail by 2. Panousis walks it up the floor. Massive offensive set here. Panousis. Froling, does she go herself? Puts it on the floor. Feeds Shervin. Got to get past Jackson. Can't do so. And it's a Southside ball. Blitzarv says settle it down. Off to Rochi.
2-possession game. Can the Sydney Flames get a stop here?
Got to be aggressive, but no fouls to give. They've got none left to give. It would send them straight to the bonus. And they give one with 3 seconds left on the shot clock. Kira Rowe can't believe it.
Nork and the crowd, let's watch it here. Great pressure defense by the Sydney Flames. Maybe a little hand tag. Big call down the stretch by the referees, but they're right on it.
So a chance here to make it a 2-possession game. Timeout called. Flyers will go to the line, shoot 2, make it a 4-point game and give themselves control. So Shelley Gorman, what a roller coaster ride in her first game, official game as a WNBL head coach.
Yeah, massive. Look, and this is, you know, right now you're going to be feeling the pressure. You know, it's a 2-point ball game. Other team are at the, foul and put them to the line. Right here should be, you know, they'll probably advance here maybe to get the set. See what do they need? Are they going to need a 3? Will just a 2 be okay? Are they going to be 4 down, 2 down, 1 down? They'll talk through those scenarios. What do we need? If it's this, it's that. Do they shoot quick? Let's see what she's got. Keely Froling, I'm sure, will chime in. And this is when the veteran players and the captains and leaders, it's great that the coaches let them say their piece.
So from a coaching perspective, if you're Shelley Gorman right now and you make the assumption that they go to the line and they make both those shots, it's a 4-point game with 21 seconds left. What options have you got left at your disposal?
Right now, I think you run the play. If you're open for the 3, take it. If it's not on, put it on the deck and get to the rim. Can we get to the rim and get an and 1 or at least a 2? But you want something. If we're down 4, we need a reasonably quick shot so we can foul, send them to the line and do the same.
Meggs is courtside.
The message from Shelley Gorman and Keely Froling was, if we have to foul them, we will. It is just so loud right here, right now. Shelley Gorman is very softly spoken. It was very hard to hear her because the home crowd are getting behind their Flames right now.
Two massive foul shots. Blitzarves makes the first. So calm and composed to make it a three-point game. Now to blow it out to a two-possession game with 21 seconds to play, and she does. Got to go quick now. The Flames, they need a quick basket. Munga Kahia. Game clock to 15, loses the handle. That should be it for Southside. Is there a foul? There is. It'll send Tiana to the line, and she'll get to shoot two. Huge. Wow. So Maddie Rocci fouls out of the game with 13 seconds left.
Massive.
Tiana will go to the line. She'll get to shoot two. She makes those. They've still got 13 seconds to get a stop.
Yeah, massive here. Make two. They extend. Well, then it's the fine line. Do you play for a stop or do you foul? Send them to the line to guarantee you get possession, knowing the crowd's on your back. Force a miss. It's 3 down. Now we've got more time to execute a play. Not sure of the timeout scenarios here. If they've got a timeout left, they call it, advance and run a three-point play. Lots of options do you go with. You know, we saw there the timeout previously was called a little too soon. They didn't get a chance to advance. They called it on the free throws rather than after the free throw makes. That's what these last 2 minutes is all about, the strategy and the tactics. Do we tempt our defense? Do we rely on our offense? How do we use the crowd? How do we use the fouls?
So much to process in such a short time. All of that flowing through the mind right now of Shelley Gorman in her first game as coach.
Yeah, it's a massive, big shots for Maggie here. Put these in your right in touch. So then you foul, send it to the line, put the pressure back on them. You've got more time to try and get a three-point shot.
Canusis the inbound.
Timeout each left.
Is Tiana. From the corner, it's blocked. Blitzarves comes across. So no free throws there for Tiana Monk here.
Massive block.
Nadia Potch, Sarah Blitzarves, Kayla Thornton jubilant. Lauren Jackson, her team has scrapped and fought all night. They've led for most of it. Here's Megan.
The Flyers bench nearly broke the advertising strip in front of them when Potch went up and blocked that shot. The players nearly ended up on the floor themselves, and I thought Lauren Jackson was going to throw Potch in the air in celebration. It's unbelievable atmosphere here.
Yeah, with this margin and that 6.3 seconds ago, you'd have to say that's probably a match-winning shot block by Potch.
Blitzarves for icing on the cake. Can't make it. 5 points, but only 5 seconds. Froling, will she put it up? Another block from Potch. And Southside get out of jail. The Flyers back on track. Southside return to the winners list. They've won 6 of their last 7 to remain within striking distance of top spot. The Flames outstanding. What a wonderful night of women's hoops. That's it from the Quaycentre in Sydney. It's Southside victorious 96, Sydney 91.
I'm making his outfit wet.
Yeah. Well, I'm here with Lauren Jackson after an unbelievable performance. Sydney took it right up to you guys tonight, but that was incredibly gutsy, repelling them.
Man, Sydney played like they had something to prove tonight, and oh my God, all credit to them. That was a hard-fought game, and playing like that was just remarkable. So we are really lucky to have come away with that game.
Hannah Shervin is a rookie. She looked up to you growing up tonight. She matched up on you, and she did a terrific job. Were you impressed by her performance?
Yeah, like she's a great player. They've got a whole lot of great players out there. It's you know, it was just the luck of the draw tonight, and like we were so lucky to get over the line, but they really pushed it to us, and yeah, wow, that was awesome.
We learned yesterday that you've been playing with a fractured foot since round 5. You had 30 tonight. It sure didn't look like that foot is fractured. How are you feeling?
Oh, I feel terrible, but you know, there's nothing I can do about it, so I've just got to try and get through it, and I'll see how long I can last on it. But yeah, it's not fun having a broken foot playing basketball, but it is what it is.
And just finally, Nadio Poch, I don't think I've seen you so excited in a long time. Those blocks were incredible.
Yeah, look, you know, as one of the vets, I'm pretty hard on Nads, you know, because I just see so much potential in her, and then she makes plays like that, and I'm just like, oh my God, she's incredible. You know, she was awesome. So just the longest arms, that block was, whew, so it was awesome.
An awesome night. Well done, LJ.
Thank you.
Can we get a quick pic with Lenny?
Yeah. Louis.
I'll give you my phone.